what a BBL Cup final that was. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Dunk Hub and welcome back to Total Sport. Make sure you stick around and subscribe if you are new to the channel, and give this video a like if you enjoy it. But I'm just coming off watching the BBL Cup final. This is my kind of immediate reaction to the BBL Cup final between Newcastle Eagles and the London Lions. I'm not going to be paying attention too much to the Leicester Riders versus the Glasgow Rocks game. That was a very bad game for the Glasgow Rocks, and the Leicester Riders took that to keep themselves in contention for the BBL Championship. But we are talking about the BBL Cup today. Now, some key points before the game started. It was reported by a lot of reputable sources and the London Lions club themselves that half the roster was basically not eligible to play due to COVID-19 positive testing just hours before the game. So they weren't able to travel with the squad and they weren't able to play in the game. This means London Lions had 7 players, and if you think about that, 5 players on the court at one time. So let's get into the starting 5 for both teams. First off, we got the Newcastle Eagles, who were the favourites after that announcement of the London Lions. So their first guard tandem, they've been having an MVP style season. Rahmon Fletcher, along with his partner Cortez Edwards, who is actually at his second final in a consecutive year. He last year won the BBL Cup with the Worcester Wolves. I was very happy. Again, couldn't go to that game, but that's 2 years in a row I haven't been going to the Cup final. Next year, that's the one. Reece Williams at the small forward position for the Newcastle Eagles, along with Justin Gordon, and then to complete the team, the big man in the middle, Maxwell, who had a fantastic game in his own right, and we'll get to that in a moment. The London Lions next, then they didn't have a lot of players to pick from, but this is what they went with going forward. Justin Robinson, who is a 2-time BBL MVP, manned the point guard position, and his partner Kevin Ware Jr. manned the shooting guard position. That backcourt is a formidable force, and that matchup against Cortez Edwards and Rahmon Fletcher was very interesting to see throughout the game. Dirk Williams was the one to man the small forward position, and he had a fantastic game too. Orlando Parker managed the power forward position as the big guy, one of the big guys anyways. They had a lot of lack of depth in this game when it came to big, so he had to stay in the game for a long time in order for Newcastle to not take advantage of that size. And rounding out the team, Shane Walker was also in that centre position. Those were the 2 bigs that were available on the day, and it was key that those didn't get into foul trouble. So the game tipped off, and I think it was very predictable that it was going to be equal in the first quarter. They could play the first 5. Justin Robinson did actually want to get taken off at one point. Shane Walker hit a really nice 3 at the top of the key for the Lions, but it was really clear that Newcastle had this game in the early goings, but the Lions were not giving up yet. And that was key because London's defence in this first quarter really showed, and they kept the Eagles really low in points. Justin Robinson did get taken off for Dang Akodu, and he brought some much needed size to that backcourt, and he hit some nice 3s, he got to the basket really well, and his defence was on point in this first quarter as well. Newcastle gave a lot of the ball up in this quarter. They just gave away a lot of silly turnovers, and it was really hard to see that the team was struggling in this early going, but not all was bad because Newcastle Eagles were winning in this first quarter, 21-18. It ended as we go into the second quarter. Now here is where it was pretty predictable that it was going to be taken away by the Newcastle Eagles, and it was because the 7 men that were playing in the rotation had a bit of tired legs, and also the 2 big men in Parker and Walker were actually in a bit of foul trouble because the game plan from Newcastle was to drive at those big men in order to get to the line and get them into foul trouble to make sure that the rotations were not able to be made. And in this quarter, Rahmon Fletcher was the first player to hit double figures in the first minute of the second quarter. I'm pretty sure he went to 10. He finished the quarter on 14 points, and he had a fantastic half. He was, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the best players on the court in this game. Newcastle were pretty much running away with it 6 minutes in. They had a 10-point lead, and this carried on through the remainder of the quarter. with the Newcastle Eagles having a 46-35 point lead over the London Lions going into the second half. Heading into the third quarter, and this quarter was very surprising from a Newcastle Eagles fan point of view. I mean, I'm not a Newcastle Eagles fan, but it's definitely interesting to see. And the London Lions were given a lot of hope because that gap of 11 points of a lead was cut down to 5. Newcastle just didn't push to the line nearly enough in this quarter, and Dirk Williams show. Oh, what a he hit 3 after 3 after 3 after dunk and put back dunks. Dirk Williams, he had a phenomenal third quarter. Not really much else to say about this third quarter. The Lions put on a really good show, and they showed a lot of what they showed in the first half, in the first quarter, and they were just fantastic in this third quarter. And in the fourth quarter, they continued to show why they are one of the most feared teams in the British Basketball League. That third quarter ended 62 to the Eagles to London Lions 57. That's a 5-point lead, cut down from 11. With 5:30 to go, the Newcastle Eagles had a 4-point deficit to climb. They were up by 15 at one point in this game. The London Lions have now cut that to 4 points, and they are winning by 4 points. And then after another 3, they start winning by 7 points. This team that had 7 players in the entire rotation are now 7 points in the lead, and pretty much 4 minutes away from lifting the BBL Cup. And if you said before the game that the BBL Cup would have gone to the London Lions, people would have been pretty okay with that. The London Lions have Deandre Liggins and all this broad big guys that have come in, Kevin Ware, Justin Robinson, and it wouldn't be a surprise because of this COVID struggle with the Lions. To see them become the underdogs almost in this game was a real shock, and to see them 7 points ahead was tense. The whole fourth quarter was very tense, and it made for a really good game. 4 minutes to go, and Rahmon Fletcher hit a huge 3 to keep the momentum with the Newcastle Eagles, to make sure that they don't fall to the London Lions, to the short-handed London Lions team. And then Justin Gordon with the dagger, 76-76 apiece. They are tied with about 3 minutes to go. It was a huge 3 from Justin Gordon. He had a phenomenal game. And then Louis Sayers with the save of the century, a huge 3 to put them 3 points ahead of the London Lions, and it seemed like heads were dropping and the Lions were about to fall. 30 seconds to go, Rahmon Fletcher to the line, puts them 7 points out of reach of the London Lions, puts them on 84 points to London Lions 77, and that is the game. And that's it. Your BBL Cup champions of 2021. The first bit of silverware of the year in the British Basketball League goes to the Newcastle Eagles, who won the last piece of silverware from last year's BBL season before it was cut off. And I think we have to start with my MVP, Rahmon Fletcher, who is potentially one of the better players in this league this year as well. He's having an MVP season in the championship, and now he's gone and probably won the MVP of the final. 21 points and 8 assists for Rahmon Fletcher. What a night. He was dishing the rock, he was shooting the ball, he was getting to the rim. It was anything you could think of Rahmon Fletcher was doing, and he was putting his all into this game, and he knew that he had to, because the London Lions were going to have to bring it. Justin Gordon had a really impressive showing tonight. 17 points and a whopping 15 rebounds. The big guy, Evan Maxwell, also grabbed a really impressive 17 points. As I said, he didn't really have a great fourth quarter, but he did pull it back towards the end and throughout the entire 3 quarters. So he was a very consistent player for the Eagles, and without him, they definitely would have lost. I think it was very deserved after the season they've had. They brought in Cortez Edwards, who also had a very impressive showing. Him, again, back-to-back BBL Cups. He won it last year with the Worcester Wolves, and this season winning it with the Newcastle Eagles. One of very few people to actually do that. I think there's a handful of names, maybe 5 or so names, that have actually done that and switched teams after and win the BBL Cup after they won it prior. So congratulations to Cortez Edwards, congratulations to the Newcastle Eagles, and congratulations to coach Ian McLeod. He deserves it a lot. I mean, he is doing a phenomenal job at the programme down the Newcastle Eagles, and hopefully for Newcastle Eagles fans there are going to be more silverware coming your way. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to Total Sport if you are new around here, and make sure to leave a comment down below what you thought about this reaction, and leave your reactions down below to the BBL Cup final. And on that note, I've been Reece Williams, and I'll see you next time.